A lot of interesting dialogue happening recently with the release of this Clipse album. 9.5 out of 10 for me. We'll talk about, maybe I'll make a separate video about like a thorough review, breakdown, and stuff like that. But conversation's really been on the emphasis of, for the first time possibly ever in hip hop, it's no longer really a young man's game. And the older generation of rappers are actually rapping, not only rapping circles around the younger generation, right? But they're actually seeing more mainstream success. The younger kids are getting more streams, more virality, more attention, but it's not translating to sales, tours, and actual success. They're here today, gone tomorrow. Whereas your people like Clipse, people like Freddie Gibbs, the whole entire Griselda Black Soprano family, Roc Marcy 38 Spesh, whatever that conglomerate of people are, like they are having Tech Nine still from the moment he came in the game till now has still been the biggest independent act in hip hop. You're seeing more artists from that generation go independent and achieve way more success. Even if they're not Billboard #1 platinum records, they're having more success independently. The older generation, right? Which gives hope to somebody like me. I'm 33 years old. I've always been told, hey, just put the fries in the bag or something along those lines. You feel me? So it is refreshing to see artists like Clipse after a 15-year hiatus, which I'm sure had a lot to do with it, but they're getting their praise, right? And when you say older generation, what exactly do you mean? Well, your big three are all 40. That's never happened. With the exception of like a Jay-Z, he might be the only exception prior to like 2015. You know what I mean? And then he became the only exception of a rapper over 50 that's still getting respect. Granted, he hasn't dropped an album in 7, 8 years, but yeah, your 40 plus rappers are the ones that's running the game. 2 Chainz is up there. Your big three is up there. Uh, I mean, there's just off the top of my head, I'm blanking out. Your Rick Rosses are out there still making moves. You know, Meat Mill's getting real close. Big Sean is getting real close to that. Like the ones that are really putting out numbers. You know, you have the younger cats like the Heats and the NBA Young Boys and this, that, and the third, but like they not seeing that true longevity. You know what I mean? Um, Future is over 40. Like the amount of rappers doing their thing at that age should be a sign that we have to stop listening to anybody with a microphone or a platform telling you that this is a young man's game and all of this. Because right now, they're struggling the most. They're the ones signing the bad deals. They're the ones that have one hot song and then they falling off. You know what I mean? I look to, for example, like what's happening with Megan Thee Stallion. It don't make sense to me because I think her music is dope, but clearly it's not connecting. You know what I mean? Now you do have artists like Glorilla that are continuing to see success, and I think she was probably born in like '99 or something like that, so she's probably like 26 or something like that. She's an exception though. You know what I mean? Everybody else that kind of came up around that era, they're not really seeing all of that. Now, there is a certain sect of the internet and the public that just will never see super mainstream success. You know what I mean? Like I feel like the even that era of people like the Destroyed Lonelies and what's the other dude that's kind of in the same realm of him, or even like a JPEG Mafia or something like that, which I think he's even on the older side. But point being, those dudes are having success that's like, if you know type shit. Part of my language. Uh, I don't think that they're seeing household name success like a lot of the previous acts I mentioned, you know? So it's just something to think about, man, because we've never seen this. Every number one, every artist that is anywhere and everywhere and being pushed has always been super young. You know what I mean? I really feel like the most important thing that happened in 2024 with the Drake and Kendrick thing, regardless of whose side you're on, is that two rappers pushing 40 changed the culture forever. For better or for worse, it was changed forever. Two rappers pushing 40 were number one and number two. And the number three, J. Cole, was right behind him, right? This is amazing. And just like when Kanye and 50 went at it, and that kind of changed from street culture to, I'm gonna say prep culture because I don't know a better word for it, but you know, we was wearing the baggy clothes and the Timbs and the gun in our waist and the saggy pants, and then it went to Polo, Yves Saint Laurent, like things changed, right? Jay-Z, when he dropped Change Clothes around that same time, it's like, okay, there's a shift happening. We're seeing a real shift happen right now. Alchemist is having the most success he's ever had as a producer, 25 years into his career. It's crazy, you know? Same with the dudes I mentioned earlier, like Roc Marciano and them. Like, they've been doing this for a long time, and they're just now getting to the point where it's like, you know, people really want that. And I think that's part of the reason why, as much as the overwhelming majority of music is that's being pushed anyway, is that auto-tune, quick, 2-minute tracks, no substance, freestyle, drugs, 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 drugs. That's what we think is being pushed, right? But what people are actually craving for is not that microwavable AI leaning music. It's that. It's stuff with soul. We want saturation. We want that warmth, that tape and vinyl. Vinyl is making a resurgence. Most of these albums being sold right now, physical albums, bro, people want that old school. They want that vinyl. They want cassettes. Anybody, name me a person with a cassette in their car in 2025, dog. They want that, though. They want that warmth of music that was created with analog and not Fruity Loops and immediately uploaded to SoundCloud and Spotify and all that. We want that nostalgia. That's why restorative feeling is such a large movement happening right now. People want to go back to drive-in theaters. People don't want smartphones. They want flip phones again. It's such a push for that real, that old school. I don't know what changed, why we want it, when that occurred, but I'm here for it, bro. Okay, so Clipse dropped the number 4 record in the country. For you people out there that like numbers, you know, Jap Boys did they thing. Who's doing breakdowns? What interviews did Travis Scott do? Who he sat down with? Who did he have an effect on and change in a positive light? What's the messaging here? You get me? Malice is sitting down with anybody and that will listen to him to tell you how great God is. One of my favorite moments when he sat down with Ebro, and I don't know if Ebro was trying to shade him, but he basically was like, you know, since you like all saved and everything, you know, Malice was saying like, oh, you know, like, you know, I'm a believer of God. And he was like, you know, hey, that's good for you. Like, just kind of, to me, it came out condescending, like, oh, good for you. Like, all right, yeah, all that God stuff. And proceeded to you to talk. And Malice stopped him. He said, hey, it's good for me, but this is for everybody. You know what I mean? So while Pusha T is doing what he knows that he needs to do to get people interested in the album, you know, talk about the Travis Scott, talk about the Kanye, talk about the Drake and the beef that happened last year and like all the salacious stuff, Malice is now being allowed a platform to speak on something positive. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I watch a lot of interviews. I probably watch more interviews than I listen to music. Not even probably. I watch more interviews than I listen to music. Never, ever, 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 ever have I seen a rapper with this big of a platform push positivity in this way. Maybe with the exception of Chance the Rapper, right? And even then, no, not even then. Chance the Rapper may be the only exception I can think of a rapper with that kind of platform, pushing positivity, pushing God, right? That's actually about it. You know, Ye has done it, but you see why I'm a little reluctant to give him his credit for it. You feel me? But this has been amazing. I haven't listened to Alfredo 2 yet, but I will. I'm excited to see what Mick Jenkins does this year. I'm excited to see what Jid does this year. I'm excited for the older millennials to take over finally. Like, it's time for the 35 and up to add some sophistication to this. Let's do away with the mosh pits and the pill popping and all of that. I do feel like, unfortunately, a lot of this change is because the biggest and brightest stars from the younger generation are no longer here with us, right? This may be a completely different time if Pop Smoke, Juice World, Lil Peep, Matt Miller, XXX, uh, Lil Mouse, or whatever his name is. Like, if all them people were still here, maybe we have a different conversation. King Von, Lil Durk being free, uh, Melly being free. Like, this might be a different conversation. But for right now, it's here. I'm for it, and we just gonna leave it at that. As always, man, y'all been real. I've been DOLLAWATER. Peace.